Today we're going to talk about quite an exciting and unique build that we've done in this customer's vehicle. But first I'm going to go through why we chose the parts that we went for. The full Victron system integrates very nicely into each other, and with incorporating the Cerbro and the GX Touch, which we've mounted in the front of the vehicle, while driving and on the app you can always see what's going on with all the different units. We've gone with a Victron MPPT 70 amp, and the main reason for that is when the vehicle is parked in the sun, you can put a solar panel out if the vehicle's parked in the shade, and you can get optimal sunlight and charge back into the batteries. We've gone for 70 amps because he's got a relatively large solar panel, but if he does want to upgrade in the future, he's got the capacity and headroom to upgrade. We've gone with Victron's DC to DC charger, the 50 amp. So while driving, he's putting 50 amps into the batteries, which is a nice fast charge rate. And when he gets to the next campsite, he's 100% fully charged. Next item is the Smart Shunt, which is a very small item, but probably the most crucial. What the Smart Shunt does for you is, in real time, it tells you how many amps is being drawn out of your battery system, but also being put into the system. It gives you a combination of the two units. You will always know if you're running ahead while charging or if you're falling behind. If you're falling behind, you will plug your solar panel in. We've got the Lynx distribution unit in. Main reason for that is, in this build, we've installed 3 200 amp hour lithium batteries. Now that's a lot of capacity in the back of this vehicle. With installing that, it all comes together into the distribution unit from Victron. There's indicating lights on the unit to show if any of the fuses have gone out. It also acts as a bus bar for all the negative cables to go on the same unit. When choosing inverter, we decided to go for the Victron MultiPlus 2000. Main reason for that is when he gets to a campsite where there is shore power to 20 volt power, he can plug his vehicle in and get 100 amps worth of charge into his batteries, which is very nice and quick. But when he is off grid, he's got 2000 kilovolt amps of usable 220 volt power. He can charge his laptops, his drones, his cameras, snappy chefs, all these kind of items can run off of the inverter. When you walk in and ask us for a quotation for a battery system, there are a few key questions we're always going to ask you. And that helps us to better understand how you're going to camp and what you're going to be doing with the vehicle. So the first and most important is, what are you drawing off of your battery system? A lot of people will run their fridge and lights. A lot of people want to run fridge, lights, 12 volt air fryers, coffee machines, ice makers. A lot of people want to go quite a bit bigger, and they want to go for induction stoves, large air fryers, and espresso machines. So what you're going to draw is always our main and our first question. A lot of people, like myself, we go away for long weekends, 2, 3, 4 days at most. You get some people who go away for months at a time. You get people who go away for weeks at a time. By understanding how long you generally go away for, and when you go away, if there are places to charge to 20 volt, that'll help us to build a battery system that best suits your needs. So when we talk about batteries, firstly, we're going to talk about different batteries, and secondly, we're going to talk about the different sizes that we work with. So you guys have probably all heard people talk about deep cycle batteries and lithium. Those are two of the main batteries. You get deep cycle, in between you get your AGM batteries, and you get your lithium, which is your top of your range. Where the main difference comes between the three of them is, firstly, how fast they charge, and secondly, how much power you can get out of the batteries. A lithium battery, you can almost use 100% of the capacity. So for example, if you've got a 100 amp lithium, you can use up to 90 amps of those 100 amps. Where if you go for a deep cycle battery, 100 amps, you can only utilize up to 40% of it. So out of the 100 amp battery, you can only use 100 amps until your battery is depleted. Primarily we use the Enertech range of batteries, and they've got two variations. They've got their normal battery and they've got their blade battery. When you look at the blade battery, that is your slimline batteries, which are generally between 50 and 100 millimeters thick, and they can be mounted behind a seat, under some seats, or in the back of the canopy. It's a very nice flush mount against the side of the vehicle without losing any space. If you look at the normal batteries come in a range from 100 to 320 amps. Those will generally be fitted on the side of a drawer system or inside a battery box. When mounting battery systems, there are a lot of different places and possibilities to mount systems. When you want to go for a relatively small system, so you generally go away for a weekend and you're only running a fridge and a few lights, you can do a deep cycle battery which fits in the engine compartment of some vehicles. If you want to go for something a little bit larger, or you want to upgrade to a better system like a Victron system or lithium batteries, those components don't like the heat in the engine compartment. If you want to go for something like that, it will generally in most vehicles go in the back in the canopy, or with some vehicles like your Land Cruiser 70s and your Hiluxes, it will actually mount behind your second row of seats. So when choosing a solar solution, there are a lot of different options out there. Quite often we fit solar panels on the top of a rooftop tent or on top of a canopy. That is very, very nice for while you're driving to get additional charge into your batteries, or if you're going for a game drive or a drive out with your mates and you stop somewhere for lunch, you're always putting power into your battery system. The disadvantage of fixed panels on the roof is that when you park at a campsite and there is a shaded area under trees, we generally want to get our cars in the shade, and of course we want to sit in the shade. But by pulling your vehicle in the shade, you are putting the solar panels in the shade as well, which means you're getting decreased power and decreased charging into your batteries. The second option is a portable system from Flexo Power. The advantage of a flexible panel is when you park your vehicle, we generally do a 10 or 15 meter extension lead. So you'll plug it into the vehicle, you'll put the solar panel out there in the sunlight, and you're going to get optimal charge into your batteries. The second advantage is because it's not a fixed panel, you can move it around and rotate as the sun moves, which means again, by moving the panel into more direct sunlight, you're getting better charge into your battery system. Budget is probably one of the most important things and one of the biggest things that scares people off from battery systems. A lot of us go onto YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and we see these big, wonderful battery systems, and when we hear the price, it scares us off completely. When choosing the right battery system for you, it is always about what do you need, but also what's going to suit your pocket.
Build it right. Drive it further. Contact us today for your dream build on 0219 818 279